everybody, and welcome to day number 2 of the DreamHack Montreal Hearthstone Grand Prix. We had over 130 players enter the arena yesterday, and today we will make the cut to the top 16 to find our champion tomorrow. My name is Cora, and joining me on the desk today for the first match is going to be Noxious and Falcone. Guys, we had 6 rounds of Swiss yesterday, so it was a long day, and a lot of players did very well. We also saw some popular names fumble a little bit. What did you think of day number 1, Falcone?
I thought it was great. It's very different to a lot of what you see when you play on the ladder at the moment. Obviously, there's no Druid Stone because all the Druids are being banned, except for one. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. But just a very exciting day. We've seen a lot of funny, like, one-off decks, some of them doing very well, and some of them that we're going to see a little bit more of in the first game today.
Noxious, was there anything that surprised you about day 1?
I mean, the last game was definitely one of the most, one of the pinnacles of the day for sure. But besides that, just going through the more regular lineups that we saw, just seeing TerrenceM's Warrior deck. We saw one Dead Man's Hand with an Azoth Warrior. I thought that was fantastic. Yeah. A little bit of different nuance. You tend to expect at this point in the metagame, 1 month into the expansion, that most tournament decks are rather figured out, and the way people navigate those lineups is very similar. But in Last Hero Standing, there's always a little bit of a tweak there. So while we've seen a lot of Pirate Warriors, on the floor have been a lot of Taunt Warriors. Yeah. And Dead Man's Hand Warrior coming from TerrenceM. We've seen a really unusual Tempo Rogue from Walaoumpa as well yesterday. Some, double Hex, double Devolve Shaman with tokens. I really liked the diversity. I'm still waiting for the Exodia Mage / Control Mage train to arrive. Yeah,
but I don't think it's quite in the station in Montreal just yet. But like you said, Walaoumpa has a fantastic double Prince Rogue deck, and then Terrence is 6-0 currently with his interesting Dead Man's Hand N'Zoth Fatigue Warrior style deck. And they're actually going to be going up against each other in our first series of the day because they are both 6-0 undefeated. And this is a big match because the winner of this is guaranteed a spot in the top 16. So a lot riding on it for these guys. Let's take a look at the standings and see who else is gunning for that top 16 slot. So 6-0s, Walaoumpa and TerrenceM. That's going to be our streamed match for the first round. Then we've got Monsanto, who is a recognizable Canadian figure. He was been in HCT. Sayan, we don't know much about. Insum, we saw Iniesta on stream yesterday. Teebs, we also saw on stream. Unfortunately, he lost his match that we saw, but he is doing very, very well. And then we come down to 2 names that I think is one of the biggest storylines in the tournament itself, Zalay and Muzzy. Zalay and Muzzy have been neck and neck throughout this entire tournament. Muzzy is currently 1 point ahead of Zalay for the last call qualification direct berth into the World Championships. But Zalay has a 5-1 record. Muzzy is 4-2. Muzzy lost his 3rd round match and his 6th round match. So if Muzzy wins the next 3, he'll still get his spot in the top 16. And if Zalay loses his next 3, there's a chance that he may not. But these two definitely are fighting against each other, maybe even more so than they are against the rest of the crowd. But then we've got some other recognizable names. Talion is a Canadian figure also who competed in HCT. Hot Meowth plays for Panda Global. Tars is a French player who we saw on stream yesterday. The one I believe we saw that did not ban Druid. It's working out all right for him.
He won, yeah.
So this is a pretty stacked top 20 standing right now, but there are some unknown names in here that we have not seen on stream, that we're unfamiliar with, and yesterday one of those was Walaoumpa. But now, we saw him on stream, he won his game, the final streamed match of the day, and now he's 6-0 going up against Terrence, who is a DreamHack veteran. Do you think that Walaoumpa has a chance to take down Terrence, Falcone?
It's impossible to say. That the match last night will be playing on his mind, I'm sure, for a long time to come. But he's going to go into this one fresh. Terrence also has a weird lineup because Walaoumpa, he has this rogue, this fabled rogue that we've talked about. And I've heard mutterings from the players. Some have claimed there's a 2-mana prince. Others have claimed there's a 4-mana prince in the deck. So I don't know what to expect. I'm very excited for this series.
I think it's safe to say there's no 3-mana prince, but yes, I have heard rumors of the 2 and the 4, and it has been working out very well for him. So a rogue deck that only has 1 2-drop and 1 4-drop is viable, Noxious. But then you were saying that you really loved Terrence's Warrior deck. I'm a Control Warrior fan myself. I really love what Terrence is doing here. I know he wasn't too happy that he had to reveal the Warrior deck on stream so early yesterday, but it still seems like he's been able to catch people off guard.
Yeah, and I think the strength of it really is that no one prepared against that deck. People expected there to be Taunt Warrior. People expected there to be, of course, the Pirate Warrior. But I believe the Dead Man's Hand Warrior is more of a unique choice that we see him do here. And the same thing happened, you know, the last time he had a very deep run. Every DreamHack, he just seems to bring decks that are a little bit off of the beaten path and does well with them. Those are the best performances that he's put up.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And then we've got sort of this battle of new versus old, sort of the epitome of Montreal itself, which is a lot of new versus old. And we sort of said that that was a theme going into this tournament because there are a lot of new Canadian players and faces and names that we have not seen before. So this match is a great one to kick off the day with. Let's take a look at the picks and bans, exactly what we're going to be seeing from Terrence and Walaoumpa here. All right, so it's going to be the mutual druid respect, what we've come to know and love, I suppose, from the Hearthstone bans yesterday and now today. Terrence going to be left with Paladin, Priest, Warrior, Walaoumpa, Shaman, Priest, Rogue. I'm glad we get to see the Rogue. I'm glad we get to see the Warrior. Those are the two decks that really stick out to me.
I'm going to venture a guess here and just say that Walaumpa's lineup likely is going to find a lot of struggle against Terrence's lineup, just because of the way that the Warrior is usually going to be able to handle pretty much everything that Walaoumpa throws at it. There are brawls, AoEs, the deck is built to clean the board, and Walaumpa's decks rely on getting it for the most part, aside from the Priest. And then you've got the Paladin, which is also extremely good at fighting the board. The only good matchup there for Walaoumpa probably is going to be the Shaman, where you're able to fight off against that Paladin rather well with the devolves and whatnot. So this could be a very difficult one for Walaoumpa, regardless of the current lineup.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Warrior does specifically pose a big threat for the lineup. We've seen what it can do against Priest. Yes, the game we did see yesterday, Shadow Reaper Anduin was drawn very, very late. Maybe things would have been different the other way around, but it definitely poses a threat. And I think Walaoumpa is going to have to really impress us with his Rogue and his maybe even sweep with that if he wants to have a good shot here.
All right, so Walaoumpa is the definitive underdog. Falcone, quick prediction. Can Walaoumpa take it over Terrence, or is it just going to be Terrence?
He could, but Terrence is going to win this series.
Noxious?
I'm going to have to go with the same prediction there. That being said, it's not, all doomsday. We have a 6-0 score, so even if he loses one, it's not the end of the world.
I do think Terrence is favored here, but I think Walaoumpa definitely has a great shot. So we're going to get right into our 7th round of Swiss. Day number 2 of DreamHack Montreal starts now.
All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. For the first match of the day, we've got Walaoumpa versus TerrenceM coming right up. Now, we spoke about TerrenceM, the Warrior and whatnot, but the rest of the lineup is extremely standard. We've got Murloc Paladin for Terrence, as well as the Razakis Priest. And on the other side, there's also Razakis Priest, but there's also a token Shaman with double Hex, which is something you tend to see very little of. And I'm not sure how that's going to fare against Terrence.
A little bit of innovation is often enough. Like, Terrence has the one strange deck, but the rest of his deck is just the standard best. The double Hex could be good against the Warrior. It runs N'Zoth. It can get rid of those death rattles, prevent them from coming back. But we're not going to have to wait any longer. Let's take a look at these mulligans.
And here we go, Plague Scientist for Walaoumpa, opening up with the Rogue. Okay. I'm guessing the leading with this seems to be a standard strategy, because the same thing happened yesterday, probably hoping to sweep with it. And up against it is the Priest. I don't know how the Priest will fare against that Rogue.
So this is my first actual look at the Rogue. And Plague Scientist, right, okay. This is a strange deck.
Well, Plague Scientist is fantastic in Tempo Rogue.
Right, well, yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It's just, I hadn't gone into this game expecting that. I hadn't gone into this tournament expecting a deck with 2 princes in it.
Walaoumpa, with a slightly slow start, finds himself facing down the only 1-drop in TerrenceM's deck. So this is not really what you're looking for, but it is what you've got. And Walaoumpa does find, however, a decent play next turn. If Patches isn't drawn, you can place the South Sea Captain paired with the Patches. That gives you a kill in the Northshire Cleric. So
yeah, that works out perfectly. One thing Rogue is able to do is sort of just chill for a couple turns, rely on the dagger, and then have these big blowout plays like this Patches trade. Now, Walaoumpa's got full control of the board, and it is going to be tough for Terrence to get this back. I see what you mean. He's going to have to rely on Pint-Sized Potion, Shadowwood Horror, Holy Nova, and Dragonfire Potion to clear these boards over and over again. And Terrence does have several of these cards together, and what was that?
So I was going to say, Terrence has the best 2-card combo to clear up anything Walaoumpa does. Pint-Sized Potion, Shadow Word Horror. That's a given. But then you see the Nerubian Unraveler from Walaoumpa, which makes it so every spell ends up costing 2 more. And if you were to have kept the coin to play it next turn, he would not be punished at the moment.
I have never seen this card played.
Really, it's actually quite good against Ultimate Infestation, as it clearly just locks it out. But it's, I mean, in Rogue, I can't say that I've seen it either.
So Terrence is going to have to play the Pint-Sized Potion Shadowed Horror now, although it doesn't get rid of Salty Captain unless he silences it first. Is he going to want to throw out that many resources? Yes, it looks like he is.
I don't think there's too much of another choice, but that's a lot of resources thrown out just to get rid of this first board. However, we've also discovered in the past that once the Prix gets the board under control in the mid-game, that's when its best chance to beat those tempo decks later shows up.
And looking at Terrence's hand now, like his Cabal Shadow Priest is going to hit a target. His Prophet Velen might just come down on turn 7. I don't see why not. Obviously, Vastbind Slayer, as we can see, just straight up counters it. But Terrence doesn't need the Velen for lots of burst damage later. If he survives into the late game, he probably just wins this.
Yeah, Walaoumpa, though, has got a very, I want to say, high-quality hand because it's also offering a variety of options as time passes, which isn't something you can say of every Rogue hand. And he's got damage dealt. The Rogue is putting enough pressure that the Priest just doesn't find time to weave in a 2-mana hero power. You know, Raza's not been found. The board clears aren't exactly available. There's only really the Dragonfire Potion that takes care of everything left.
Right. Terrence doesn't have too many options here. Potion of Madness would allow him to trade away the Firefly, but then he's not doing much with the rest of his turn. He could play it and also play Holy Nova, but this feels like a waste of Holy Nova for the time being. I still prefer the Cabal Shadow Priest.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. I think this is the best line in order to recover the board because you can use the body to trade with the opponent's minions, which gives you a little bit of tempo. Walaoumpa will have the Vile Spine Slayer to kill it off if he wants to. It's the best tempo play. Now, whether or not it's the best play is another question entirely, but it definitely will be the best tempo play available to him next turn.
Just taking his time, trying to work out which one he wants to steal. Goes with the 2-1.
Sets up better Holy Novas potentially.
All right, Prince number 1. Coming nice and early, actually. Well, maybe not as early as it could have been, but at least he's got it where it is still relevant. He's still going to be drawing cards. The 1-1 buff on future minions will matter.
And now this is a very dangerous board, as Holy Nova feels like it has to come out, even though it's not particularly effective.
Again, with the Potion of Madness, it clears up the 3-3 as well, but that Vastbind Slayer is not going anywhere. I don't mind this. Just the Healing Potion, get up to 30. Rogues don't have Bloodlust, Savage Roar, that type of card. Like, Walaoumpa's not just going to burst Terrence down from here.
No, but Walaoumpa might play a Nerubian Unraveler and say, you had a board clear? Well, I'm sorry. That's largely gone. So every combo play is going to be very difficult to
Walaoumpa has been so innovative with this deck. Okay.
Almost not enough spells in the deck to use Lyra.
It's a shame, because typically Lyra is incredibly strong in Rogue, but just not this one.
Yeah, gives you random pre-spells. We probably have a lower tempo play at this point. The thing with the Nerubian Unraveler is that if it's meant to counter Dragonfire Potion or board clears, it has to do it on curve, because once you do it on turn 8, the Dragonfire Potion can still come up, in which case the Unraveler just loses every bit of potential. Slightly unfortunate.
All right, Prince comes down, so all future minions in the deck are going to have an additional 1-1 worth of stats. Maybe it is too late for it to be that relevant. I don't know. Walaoumpa's in a great spot here, though. What do you think he's holding on to the Nerubian Unraveler for? Like, when is it that he wants to get that card down? Is he waiting for after Anduin comes down?
This is very possible, because it locks out a lot of what Anduin is going to be trying to do. That's for sure.
Or maybe now he just plays Firefly, Flame Elemental, Nerubian Unraveler.
We could also see a Forbidden Shaping for 8.
Yeah, that's actually much better.
There aren't too many answers. See, this is just a big fat body. Yeah. That's fine.
7-9 is fine.
Yeah. Can't complain. There's only Shadow or Death, really.
It's not quite a Tyrion, but you can't complain.
Well, okay. Good point. Would have liked to have that.
Are we going to see a pack instantly added? No, we are not going to see a pack.
I mean, Dragonfire Potion looks to be the best way to climb back in the game after things start escalating.
Yep, Holy Smite does clear the 3-2, but you want to be clearing the 3-2 and also dealing a lot of damage to the Doom Caller as well. Spirit Lash just doesn't seem to hit enough targets here.
With Velen, it might have some niche application, but
that's true.
It's not perfect by any means.
Terrence still hasn't picked up Raza. He hasn't picked up Shadow Reaper Anduin yet.
I mean, Shadow Reaper in this matchup, interestingly enough, oftentimes doesn't go face. It clears the board, so you need it as removal.
It's not quite as relevant against these more aggressive decks. You don't need the burst potential to just win the game at some point, just to end the game. You end the game through exhaustion, through exhausting your opponent of resources.
Yikes. All right, so the trade is done for value here, which also opens up a tremendously good Dragonfire Potion at 8 mana.
It's almost a little bit disappointing to see. That Nerubian Unraveler looked like it was going to be so strong in this game, but nope. Terrence has completely flipped the board around here. He picked up Lyra. If he gets one card, like a Powered Shield or something, then that Lyra could just go crazy in one turn.
And,
oh my goodness.
Devour Mind.
That's the one, right?
I mean...
It's got to be the one.
It looks like the one to me. I think that's got to be the one.
It's not typically the card you want to play in this tempo deck. We might see Shadow Reaper Anduin. No, we do not. Okay. That would have made this game really weird.
Don't you regret not picking up Lyra now?
Yeah.
Justice is mine.
This isn't so bad. He'll have targets to use Vile Spines later in the game. But this is not where Walaoumpa wanted to be. I feel like there was a good argument for Psychotron this turn instead of the Devour Mind, as you could have just at least had a 3-4 on the board.
Well, it's a tempo deck, and Walaoumpa's had to start playing a value game, and what did I just say? Power Word Shield makes this Lyra go out of control. We draw a card, not quite a good one.
Not quite enough, and that Vile Spine Slayer is going to find value.
Shadow Step.
Oh, goodness. That Vile Spine is going to find more than value.
Yeah, you absolutely have to Vile Spine this. I don't know if you Shadow Step it. There must be a Leroy in this deck. And
I'm not sure, really.
Oh, did you not see one yesterday?
No, we did not.
Justice is mine.
Usually Shadow Step is used, it's used as a pseudo Shadowcaster.
Yeah.
In many respects.
That's true. It can hit an Edwin, etc. It could hit a Prince. It could hit Prince Kaliseth. Give everything a buff 2/2.
Goodness, that's got to be disgusting. Are we seeing Power Word Tentacle, Shadow Word Death?
I was thinking Doomsayer. Yeah.
With Tentacle, sure. That's a lot better, but now Shadow Step finds a good target.
Because usually if Walaoumpa would want to clear this now, great, but all of his minions take 2 damage. That's a really good board clear regardless of the situation. Is it worth the Shadow Step on the Vile Spine? Let's see what we can grab here. That's not Shadow Word Pain, sadly.
Now, there's also information being found by Walaoumpa. You know, we saw the Dragonfire Potion being played from Shadow Visions, which tells you a lot about the fact that there's another one in the deck. You have to be a little bit cautious about that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I don't feel like Walaumpa's got the luxury of waiting to apply pressure. So he's just going to go all in and hope that his board sticks. And no Dragonfire Potion is picked up by Terrence right now.
Oh, Pain is really good here, though. Gets rid of the Psychotron in one foul swoop.
Still, if that is the only play that's coming up...
He has to drop Valen, right?
I mean, if he does, look at that Shadow Word Death from Devour Mind!
He can't know that's there.
I know, but it's still really going to hurt. And that...
Oh my goodness, Plague Scientist, though. Like, forget Shadow Word Death for a second. That card would have just dealt with Valen easily.
Right, and this is why I think the card is fantastic when you've got Patches, South Sea Deckhands, Firefly tokens, Swashbucklers to throw away. You don't need them. Plague Scientist becomes an excellent tempo tool.
Walaoumpa, you are a genius.
We've seen a lot of Plague Scientists on the ladder, but not so much in tournament play. And I am currently...
Oh, that's good.
Oh, Primordial Drake, please do not. Okay, you did not. Dragonfire Potion! Oh!
It had to happen, right? It just had to happen. Terrence is going to have to try and set up that Tolve Stone Shaper at some point soon.
He can do it,
extra defense. There are elementals in the deck. It is possible. Radiant Elemental, I don't believe, has been drawn just yet.
But it's not over, though. Terrence is looking at his current board state, and he's thinking, well, at least I've got a taunt with the 2/6. But is that sufficient? Shaku gives card advantage. One of the better draws for Walaoumpa in this spot.
Kazakas.
Oh, this is all coming together at last. Molten Reflection on the 2-6. Oh, this is soul-crushing. Okay.
Shadowcaster can hit the Plague Scientist, and I believe it can all be played this turn. So if Walaoumpa wanted to just get 2 poisonous minions and clear these, he could.
But he wouldn't have enough mana to play the 1/1 copy, sadly. He would be 1 mana off of getting the combo, because it's a combo requirement for the Scientist.
Ah, right, of course.
You have to play the Spirit Lash first. Feels a little bit awkward. I mean, very awkward, to be fair.
Do you ever Shadowcaster Shaku just to get an extra Priest card? These Priest cards seem to be working out for Walaoumpa.
I'll be honest, I think that is his best chance, but because I like the Shadowcaster into the Plague Scientist.
Yeah.
I think this is potentially just a way to get yourself back in the game from
another Shadow at Death. What is going on this game? There aren't many more targets for it for Terrence, but he hasn't played Raza yet. So there's at least one.
This will at least take care of one of the minions that's there.
Yep.
The other one gets buffed, but the 2/1 Poisonous is still on the board. This effect is not a temporary one, it is permanent.
So it's kind of up to Kazakas now to come back with a 5-mana potion and to clear this board. It's definitely possible. All he needs is the 4 damage board clear.
And that would just stomp Walaoumpa. And here we go. Does he find it? Does he find it? That's not it.
Oh.
That is not it.
He's going to have to just draw cards there.
Uh-oh.
There's still a Dragonfire Potion in the deck. He has played 2, but they both came from Shadow Visions. One of the Shadow Visions came from an Elise pack.
And that is not the AoE!
No!
Oh, this is a disaster. He can stall a bit longer until he finds that Dragonfire Potion. He's drawing cards. He can do it.
Yeah.
But he is in no shape to take his time here. He needs to pick it up. And that is, I believe, the Spirit Lash.
Spirit Lash is good.
The trade is done, so now Shaku will not generate an extra card. And now, do we have nearly lethal on this board? Not quite, I believe. Shaku attacks first, gets the card draw.
Let's see what Shaku picks up, though. Could pick up a Mind Blast or something. Pint-Sized Potion is probably the least relevant Priest card that Walaoumpa has picked up this game.
Now, there's the question of the trade, and I believe you probably take it. Do you take the trade? That really is...
It's really hard because you want to just finish off Terrence now, but leaving the 4/4 alive when you can kill it that easily does seem wrong.
Right, we've already seen Potion of Madness, I believe, so...
Priest of the Feast plus Spirit Lash does heal for quite a lot there. Healing for 7 just there. Hero Power heals for 9. There's also a Taunt picked up by Terrence there.
Which could also be used with the Priest of the Feast to heal for
Lash.
more, and it triggers the Elemental for the Tolvir on the following turn.
Or he can just Priest of the Feast, Shadow Word Death. Or Spirit Lash and then Shadow Word Death to get rid of the 5/5. There are a lot of good options for Terrence. He's opting against the Priest of the Feast, just going to clear up the board and stick up a Taunt. By the looks of things, yep, that works just as well.
Well, Pint-Sized Potion may find some value after all. One of the least tempo-heavy plays available to him. A lot of those decks have been cutting Eviscerates, of course, because of Prince Calicet, but Backstabs still make their way in, as there are still amazing tempo tools regardless.
Justice is mine.
And the Tolvir now, enabled by the play of the Tar Creeper on the previous turn. Walaoumpa, you're going to need something of a miracle here.
Yeah, we're getting to that turning point now, aren't we? The Elise pack certainly helped. Tolvir Shaper, sorry. Backing up Priest of the Feast is bad news. There you go. The mythical second Priest is, in fact, in the deck.
Well, this is rather good news. It's a 5/5. You've seen Shadow Word Death, so Anduin is the biggest threat to it.
Yep. And if Anduin gets picked up, the game probably ends soon anyway, because Terrence can just always clear the board every time without using up any resources.
Right. And there's very little that I can see Walaoumpa find in this deck. There's Bone Mare again. If something sticks, okay.
Oh, that's true.
Maybe we've got a chance there, you know, but the 5/5 has to live, which as of right now, it seems like it will. But there are a few cards that could make that not happen. You know, the Curious Glimmerroot could pick up
a backstab. Yeah. A Plague Scientist. Like, there are a lot of things it can pick up.
And that's going to be just enough. Holy Smite, no need for any backstab shenanigans. That's enough to kill the Prince Valinor. Ooh, Shadowcaster. Let's just get more of this value.
He knows it's a Shadowcaster, he's seen it, but that could have been a very confusing pick there. But this means if he plays a Shadowcaster on Priest of the Feast, he's got a 1-mana 1/1 Priest of the Feast that will heal him a ton later. That's just one of many ways he can use the card.
And so the 5 health Walaoumpa gains was not really impactful here. Does he play Valera the Hollow in the deck? Is there anything that could change that? He would have to get Valera the Hollow, then in Swashbuckler, and some miraculous card.
Yeah.
It's happened. I mean, I've played a similar deck before, and I beat Control Paladin as an Exodia rogue.
But now, Terrence has Shadow Reaper Anduin, so if he's willing to play it and sacrifice his hero power, he's just going to be able to clear up everything Walaoumpa puts on the board from now on without really needing to use any board clears or resources or anything.
Well, this is also what Priest does, right? Like, we've seen the sequencing here. Shadow Visions picks up Dragonfire. Dragonfire costs more. If you go back to the earlier stages of the game, there was a decision at some point by Walaoumpa to commit the coin to playing the Cobalt Scalebane, which at this point in the game gave his opponent the ability to clean up the board. And I believe his goal was to play the Cobalt Scalebane and play the Nerubian Unraveler later. Yeah. But the earlier you play the Unraveler in the matchup, oftentimes the better you fare. So
right, well, there were several turns you were saying. You put up the Unraveler now, it prevents your board from being cleared. And then the turn he did put it up, it was just one turn too late. And that's probably the biggest thing that went right for Terrence. That Dragonfire Potion board clear allowed Terrence to get to the point much later on where he was able to turn it around, prevent Walaoumpa from taking over the board, and now end up in this position. Walaoumpa now has Bone Mare and nothing to buff with it. This game does look over. Walaoumpa's going to still give it a shot, though, not going to concede too early, and there's no reason to concede. May as well at least play the game out, get some more information from Terrence if possible.
I mean, these two players have already been playing on stream in the past, so they've seen each other's deck list for the most part. The biggest question mark is, of course, Walaumpa's full deck list.
Oh, dear.
You mean Raza's good?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Raza's pretty good.
The one-off lethal.
Yep. I mean, so may as well clear it, right? There's no reason to leave it alive. Just ping it twice and you win the game in 2 turns.
Well, is there a reason? I guess the worst case scenario is you leave it alive and then Bone Mare, Cold Blood, like some ridiculous outcome. And I'm not even sure that kills him, so.
Yeah. 1 mana off lethal as well there. If Terrence could have played the minion that came from the Shadowcaster, that would have also done the job.
Okay, can this help him? Probably not, given his health total.
It just doesn't matter. The hero power on its own is going to finish off Walaoumpa next turn. So unless he can heal, nothing he does matters. Let's just suicide into the Raza. Game number 1. Finally, what an intense way to start the day, but it's going to go to Terrence.
All right, well, ending it early here, Walaoumpa is going to be dropping a game with his Rogue against the Priest. Again, leading with Priest was said prior to the tournament to be lowering your average win rate, but from what I've heard on the floor, that doesn't seem to stand particularly true for the players that have attended.
Well, you know, if you can just win 3 games in a row with your Priest, then starting with Priest was probably fine. We'll have to see if Walaoumpa can get back and win against this Priest with one of his other 2 decks. I expect we may see a mirror up next.
I mean, I see Walaumpa's Rogue. If I had to replay this match, I feel like Walaumpa's Rogue does very well against the Priest based on the way the cards lined up.
Yeah.
It didn't. There was exactly Pine-Sized Potion, exactly the Shadow Word Horror, exactly the double, the triple Dragonfire potential, which is not very usual. Even in the cases where it happens, you have to sort of brush it off as an anomaly.
Yeah. But okay, the battle for who can draw Raza and Shadow Reaper Anduin first begins, and Terrence is halfway there.
But does he have an Acolyte of Pain?
He doesn't have an Acolyte of Pain, which means he won't be drawing as quickly. For all we know, Shadow Reaper Anduin is still the bottom card of his deck.
Well, it seems like healing the opponent's face and burning them with the light is no longer in the ethics of Priest, sadly. It seems as though, since they've become dominant, they've lost their good manners.
Oh, okay. I wonder which card the Highlander Priest runs.
I'll take a potion. Cures nicely, too. Is there ever a world where you just get that Acolyte coin powered shield? It's too vulnerable to Shadow Word Pain.
Yeah, and it feels horrible to just waste the coin like that.
Yeah.
Just going to pass. Very slow start these games, but at least the players aren't roping each turn as well. That would make this a little bit tedious.
Give your minions +4 health is interesting because it really solidifies the board state that you've already accumulated. And if you manage to pick up the 5/5 on the follow-up, that could be absolutely bonkers.
There it is.
Goodness gracious.
But, okay, drawing is probably more sensible. That gets you to your consistent win condition. Okay, so you could make the argument that you're resistant to most board clears if you take the 5/5, but Pint-Sized Potion, Shadow Word Horror would still get rid of everything.
Fine.
And then Terrence has just sacrificed board clears for no reason. Sorry, card draw for no reason.
I still really liked it.
I did too.
Interesting. Does not want to leave the opportunity for his opponent to mill him. All right, so we may see a silence come out here to deny the card draw from the Acolyte of Pain.
Yep.
And also to empty the hand a little bit here because it's a little bit cluttered.
Terrence's board looking pretty menacing even without the 5/9, actually. This board may even bait out Pint-Sized Potion, Shadow Word Horror, and in that case, Terrence is going to be very happy that he didn't take the 5/5. That being said, neither of those cards are present in Walaoumpa's hand. Oh, but he's got his own Kazakus now. Although Terrence does have another Kazakus in the deck. Don't forget that. He did get the first one from Curious Glimmery.
Potions. They can be very big game changers, but I feel like in the mirror match, it's oftentimes, you know, the card draw or the addition of extra, let's say, demons when you need the extra Kazakus triggers, Anduin triggers in the later stages of the game, or of course, a massive board plus health resurrection. Those tend to be the norm.
Well, this seems pretty big. Flipping away what could be a massive card draw engine, just taking away from Walaoumpa. However, Walaoumpa can just take it back. He's just not going to be drawing any cards with it.
And he's going down below 10 health on the following turn if the opponent decides to just ignore that board.
That's pretty scary.
Yeah.
The chip damage does add up. It even means later when Shadow Reaper Anduin comes down, Terrence just isn't going to have to work as hard to clear off the rest of the health. It's already been hit down.
Well, Silicon back again has those implications of you potentially taking 8 damage and dying very, very soon. That's something to worry about. On the flip side, the only alternative that I see to that is you just prevent your death by going for the potion, or you play Kazakus for a very impactful swing card on the following turn and heal yourself.
Yeah, gonna go with 5. There's the board clear.
He needs the 5 damage for a single target, otherwise this isn't gonna die. Not even a little bit. I mean, he's barely got anything done with that 4 damage AoE on this board.
He needs Thanos, really.
I can use Potion of Madness with that, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, Potion of Madness plus the potion does clean up.
Well, Terrence is able to put Walaoumpa down to 9. He can just use the Shadow Word Pain to get rid of Kazakus if he wants to push all of the damage possible.
I'm partial to that. I really like the idea of just preventing Walaoumpa from doing anything in the future. So there's the option of the Priest of the Feast instead of Raza. What that does is it also protects your extra minion against Dragonfire Potion. Whereas if you play Raza, Dragonfire Potion hits, it kills the Northshire, the 4/5, and the 5/5.
I think silencing the Cleric for Walaoumpa was very questionable because next turn he could have used Potion of Madness, traded the Cleric into the Cabal Talon Priest, maybe silence one of the 3/7s, then use the potion to deal with the other one. That would be a full board clear.
Yeah. His idea was obviously to deny card draw, but that is true.
Yeah.
He could have set up a board clear that's a bit more efficient. As right now, that board clear does, well, nothing really.
Holy Smite, Potion of Madness, and the Kazakus Potion altogether clears most of the board, but not all of it.
And then he still needs to find a way to come back. And now Terrence wondering, do I extend more onto the board? I mean, do I play the Crawler, or do I keep it for later?
Looks like Walaoumpa has a plan as Mouse went straight over the potion there without hesitation.
I mean, again, he has a way to 2 or 3 turn board clear. That can happen, and it's not even that unlikely to occur. So, I don't think he dies. That's the upside. You know how much burst usually is available. Now that you've seen Raza, you're already dead to Anduin if that comes up, so better not worry about it, as it is mostly pointless.
Okay, I said that Walaoumpa was playing very fast this turn. Clearly not. He still had to work out exactly what he's doing to finish this up.
Can use the Holy Smite to clean up the 3-2. Probably doesn't really have a choice, if we have to be honest.
Does he have to coin out Doomsayer?
This seems like the rational line of play if you're looking to at least survive until you pick up your essential combo pieces.
There's that Shadowword Pain still sitting there in Terrence's hand, ready to go if he wants to just ignore the Doomsayer. Shadowword Horror also would allow him to ignore the Doomsayer.
A lot of resources used up by Walaoumpa this turn. You know, the Kazakus was a very slow play. Stealing back the Northshire may have worked, but his health total was going to dip awfully low. Well, actually exactly where he is now.
Okay, so Pint-Sized Potion, Cabal, Shadow Priest could be very good with the Priest of the Feast. Walaoumpa is in the position where he may actually just need to do that. Take the Priest of the Feast, start healing. He could play the Greater Healing Potion and heal up by 15.
What is in Lou's way?
No. Well, yeah, he'd have to be Potion of Madness, not
costly.
Cabal Shadow Priest if he's going to do that, actually.
Right. It's a little bit costly to start with the Pint Size, because you want to get the damage out.
Yeah.
Using all these cards. There are so many juicy targets that can be given to you later on with the Potion of Madness if the opponent plays into it, which I have no doubt Terrence is unlikely to do. Maximizing the counter tempo play, offering, of course, decent board clears to his opponent.
Then he plays the Pint Size. Okay. Takes the 3/6.
And suddenly, board clear.
Oh dear, Pint-Sized Potion allows Terrence to do this very easily. Yeah, there was already the Dragonfire Potion, but he's gonna go with this one instead by the looks of it.
Even simpler. And Walaoumpa down resource-wise, left with no way to kill off Kazakus.
He has to just play Velen.
Oh, well, that can do it.
Now he can do that, yeah.
Gives you a card draw. You've seen already the Cabal Shadow Priest, so there's no chance that it gets stolen. Can't be traded away.
It feels so bad playing Velen in this matchup, but it gets to the point where I think Walaoumpa has to start to think, look, if he can kill Velen, I just can't win this game, so I need to just play it now and hope that it can carry me.
Walaoumpa is going to be looking for a Dragonfire Potion off the draw if things continue this way, as Terrence is just taking it slowly.
He's got a few chances. He can trade in the Thanos.
It's not a bad card. Shuffle the pack first. Kazakus is going to be, it's already been played, that is, so it's not really a recourse for him if it's in the deck.
Both players have played a Kazakus, but the worst part for Walaoumpa is that Terrence still has a Kazakus in his deck. That 5/5 or the 5/4 still alive, still ready to hit Walaoumpa again.
Okay, so the board is rather even. The problem really lies in the amount. So Walaoumpa, the problem is on the cusp of death, because he knows at some point Shadow Reaper comes up and he's just instantly going to melt.
Yep.
Which isn't something he's threatening. That is not something that he's presenting as a problem.
It's as you said, it's all about the health total. The board stays bad. Oh, Shadow Reaper Anduin on the other side does change things. Velen is ready to go for Walaoumpa. Greater Healing Potion means that he's not going to be so sad about losing the hero power. If Walaoumpa can pick up Raza soon, this game completely flips over.
That right there was a saving grace.
Yeah.
And suddenly, Terrence not looking so sweet anymore without his own Shadow Reaper. Oh, the Ungoro pack.
Okay.
He's been doing wonders with that. Let's see if he does it again.
Sherizen's not bad. Osrook is active, but doesn't have the mana to play it. Giving a weapon poisonous is pretty much about as useless as a card can get. in a priest deck.
Well,
oh no, he's got the weapon in his hand.
I was going to say, you get the Obsidian Shard, it's not nearly as bad. I mean, you could always kill Velen in a jiffy if you really are struggling to find an answer.
Right.
Blade Flurry died for this.
What is in Moon's will?
Well, this seems like just going to continue on the tempo, forcing the hero power to go to minions instead. Again, Raza has not come out for Walaoumpa, so that hero power is still extremely costly. Yeah, put on the aggression. There's still a Holy Smite there to be used up. Huh, interesting.
It's not the best Lyra I've ever seen. He can generate one spell from it, I hope. Like, if he were to get a Potion of Madness from it, that would be fantastic. But that's one in however many priest spells there are.
On paper, he could get Silence into Holy Smite. He could get a lot of semi-decent plays, over 2 turns that is, spells to use later on. There are a lot of plays that he could get from Lyra, but they're very specific. I still think you're right, Lyra might.
We saw yesterday Circle of Healing can be pretty good from Lyra.
How about just killing Sherazin? Because for him to play 4 cards, there still needs to be a lot done. So you go ping, Greater Healing, ping.
Oh. Mind games, okay.
Oh, we could get Velen.
We could get Velen, and 4 mana profit Velen isn't that bad at all.
We could get Velen. That's a thing. I can't believe we could actually see Velen come out here.
Well, there aren't many minions left. We could also see Kazakus.
True, that's a lot less appealing
It is.
of a prospect suddenly. Fair enough.
But Walaoumpa's going to have to go for it.
He can at least kill Sherazin this turn with a ping. If he can guarantee it with Spirit Lash by default. So it's all about whether or not he can find something worth using. And that is Lyra!
All right.
That is beautiful. Not the best Lyra I've ever seen.
These have been some pretty weak Lyras. First Lyra gives the Mind Games, which gives you the second Lyra, but I don't think Holy Nova is going to allow that to continue.
Keeping Ozric healed up. Not the best minion, but when you just need something beefy to keep beating down on someone.
It's a 5/10, and Shadow Reaper Anduin's gone, so there aren't many ways to deal with it. There's the Envenom weapon.
Oh, I see what you're doing there, trying to re-enable Sherazin. Little trickster.
It's easy as well. Now you can play the Vaporize if you want to. The Powered Shield helps a lot. Faunus coming down. I like the Vaporize, actually, because Walaoumpa's going to have no idea what he's supposed to be playing around.
Does Walaoumpa still have a Spirit Lash in his deck? I'm not sure, because Holy Nova can do a decent bit of work here. You know, ping, Holy Nova ping, you know, that can definitely do, even without the mana cost reduction, a decent bit of work.
This is just nasty. Because Walaoumpa's got to think, right, if I play a minion, it might get copied, it might get polymorphed. If I play a spell, it might get countered, it might get mana binded. My opponent might get 2 copies of it added to his hand. It could be anything. Came from a random effect.
Yeah, I don't think at this point you can afford to play around anything, though, is the problem, right? Like, you're in the position where it's, yo, ping, Holy Nova, ping, bust. You know, it's, you just have to go at it and pray for the best. If you pick up Raza off the draw, maybe you can make something happen over a few turns, but even then, you're in trouble. The opponent already has a 0-cost hero power. He's healed up. He's got a 5/10. You can't even begin to answer. So Dragon Fire Potion's still one of his best possible draws at the moment.
Because of the nature of how these priest decks are built, Sherazin actually works very, very well in them. Terrence wants to play as many cheap cards as possible to activate his Shadow Reaper Anduin hero power. It works the same for Sherazin. It does just revive the dormant plant every single turn.
I think this turn he won't be able to do it, but... Oh, so do you go for a 5-cost, massive health, resurrection effect?
Yeah, I think so.
That seems like the most obvious one to me, but... Oh, 6 damage, draw 2.
That works too.
Sure.
Terrence is just sort of like, why won't he just die already? I've lowered him down.
He's got lethal, I believe, with Holy Smite. Oh, Kazakus could not attack. That's absolutely
right.
My bad. What an analysis. Good job. Okay.
But Terrence is like, why don't he just die already? I've lowered him this low so many times, but now Walaoumpa has no hero power left to heal him. He's got no greater healing potion. This Priest of the Feast, I think, is the last set of heals he's got.
And he's just dead to the Holy Smite after all is said and done.
Yeah.
At last, the game will end.
With Terrence taking the 2-0 lead this series, his Priest dominating everything Walaumpa's got. Can Walaoumpa come back from this with his Shaman? Will we get to see Terrence's Warrior again? We're going to find out very soon.
Well, it's really hard to imagine that the Shaman wins against the Priest, but in a world where that happens, sure.
And we'll get to see the Warrior again.
Yeah, I'd like to.
Terrence is going to go far in this tournament. We are definitely going to see the Warrior again at some point.
And now Walaumpa's just got to focus and hopefully gather his mind a little bit, because some people get a little bit tilted. I imagine, you know, because of his card game background, he's probably not so prone to tilt.
Yeah, it's definitely the kind of thing you learn. You don't end up on a stream this big every day when you compete. But Walaoumpa has just got to reset after each game. He does look a little bit stressed there. Like his eyebrows just like frowning. He's got to get past that. It's not going to be an easy game for him.
Well, J-Claw is a good opener, but you also are looking for that one drop ideally in the deck. I mean, if you can get yourself... I mean, the Flame Tongues are nice, but without Primal Fin Totem or Fireflies, or at the very least Blood Cell Corsair and Patches, you know, getting some damage in is very difficult to generate any type of threat. Flame Tongue, however, against Priest, likely one of the best ways to keep the pressure up, because they end up dealing with the totem and leaving the rest alive. Dragonfire Potion in the matchup, probably one of the best board clears, if not the best.
Yeah, I mean, even after a Doppelgangster evolve, speaking of Doppelgangster, Dragonfire Potion will often just clear the board. Yeah, sometimes the 6 drops will have 6 health. More often than not, though, the Priest is in a very good position in this matchup, as long as he can prevent the Shaman from getting too out of control in the early game. There are no Primal Fin Totems present, though, so there's no way Walaoumpa can build up a board that early.
Yeah, and Terrence now, under zero pressure, of course, is going to be probably cruise controlling his way to the Dragonfire Potion and resetting the board at some point. So it's not really anything he's got to worry about right now. The fact that these 1-1s are there is only helpful when you're considering the fact that there is an Acolyte of Pain there.
Yeah, he's making use of what he's got, you know. He's going to be going into turn 5, and he does have the Evolve now as well to play on turn 6. He's got Bloodlust as well. This could just be a blowout game really early. It is possible.
I'm the guy who wants to see Devolve happen here. I'm that guy.
Oh, interesting.
I'm that person.
Walaoumpa does not want to see Evolve.
Okay.
Devolve happen.
I don't mind Devolve when you're denying the card draw in that deck, but it's weak. And you don't develop an extra totem, but you keep what you've got alive.
I love this play. Terrence just coming back onto the board, sticking Priest of the Feast down, silencing the Flame Tongue totem. And yeah, so like, yeah, your turn, Walaoumpa. 2 Bloodlusts is not something we see all the time nowadays.
In that list, it's more common, I believe, because they're... Effectively, I want to say they have 3, because they have Thrall Farseer. So it feels a little bit like they're tripling up on the Bloodlust, but it is true that for a long time, Shaman just didn't feel comfortable with the double lust. The more they've embraced their token nature, the more they've accepted the fact that they would be stuck playing the double Bloodlust. Because it's very hard to justify going wide on the board with the amount of AoE in the game if you can't at least blow out the game consistently. So we've seen more and more of it. Still Flame Tongue Totem sitting there. Can't be answered easily. When
you can't kill a Flame Tongue Totem, it gets pretty frustrating. You can say the same about any of the totems that you play from the hand. Primal Fin, Mana Tide, they all do their worst. And now Walaoumpa, Patches is actually fine because he's got the extra 4 damage from Bloodlust when he wants to play it later. Is it just double trade Doppelgangster Evolve here?
I could definitely see that happening. In fact, it seems to me, I mean, you could make an argument for upgrading your totems, but if that backfires, you find yourself in a bad spot.
Yeah. And also, you can play the board this way, so...
Wow, this is the only good Evolve.
Wait a second.
In the current spot.
Wait a second, though, because Potion of Madness can't take that Scaled Nightmare. What else can Terrence do to it? What nasty things can Terrence do to this card?
Well, Dragonfire Potion doesn't kill it, though. He
just shook his head.
It.
He didn't
That's a
realize.
mistake.
No.
The mistake. Oh no, Terrence. The coin and the potion of madness are gone. Oh, and that is going to give Walaoumpa a chance to stick this minion on the board until Shadow Word Death comes out to answer it. But now he's got free reign. He can redevelop onto the board, and he's got the double Bloodlust.
A big celebratory fist pump from Walaoumpa there. Something just went right for him and has given him a foot in the door. He can get back into this game. The blowout turn could be happening in a few turns' time. Shadow Word Death cannot hit a 4/4 dragon. And Terrence just can't do anything.
So there is right now an 8/4 on the board for Walaoumpa. This doubles up.
Yeah.
This is going to double up.
It's an 8/4 that you can't play Shadow Word Death on. What a disaster for Terrence.
And now Walaoumpa's considering this, and he's thinking, well, okay, that's nice. I've got 8, 9, 10 damage. I've got the patches on top, so 11 plus 15. You know what that smells like? Near lethal.
I think it smells 27, which is now 1 off lethal, so...
I mean, you're really close to the lethal afterwards, so is he going to take it a bit slower, wait 1 turn, and risk getting Shadow Word Deathed? I think there's an argument to be made for maybe going for the...
26.
The lower damage output. Yeah, he's 2 off right now.
Yeah.
But since you can maintain a board more likely than not after this, why not just go all in and hope that you can just stick 1 minion? If you get 2 minions, you get a good Bloodlust.
This is... Oh, yeah.
2 minions can do it. But that's a good Spirit Lash. Oh, that's a disgusting Holy Nova.
Oh boy, and playing them both together as well. Spirit Lash first into Holy Nova. Can't fit in the death at the same time, but that doesn't matter because you can make the trade. The minions survived.
Ouch.
Okay, well, that's a big heal.
This is why Shaman just doesn't find wins against Priests.
Walaoumpa was so happy for a few moments there. Terrence was so miserable for a few moments there, but it's all come around.
Not bad though.
Gomez, not bad at all.
It's not, if it were Steering Totem, then you get 5/5s, then you're weak to end win, so you lose both your minions. Now you sometimes get to keep one of the minions that you've put down.
But Lyra gonna just safely come down here. Death's gonna deal with the Bone Mare, and let's see what we can get from Terrence. Spirit Lash, no mana to play at this turn, but it just doesn't matter too much. 12 health is reasonably safe, as you've already seen a Bloodlust used.
Thrall Deaths here, that's a 3-drop. I'm not a big fan of 3-drops.
3-drops typically are not better than 4/2s with Taunt and spell damage, so...
The question, of course, is, what are your options?
I think he has to play it. Like, he has to Hero Power, play it, and then Hero Power again to buff one of them. Maybe he plays Devolve instead.
So here's the play. You attack for 4, get him down to 8. You Hero Power, you upgrade them both into Wolf Riders, you hit for 6. Then you Transmute Spirit on one of them, and you make it into a Kor'kron Elite. We're done here.
That's the play.
I figured it out.
That is the play.
Easy game. Okay, that didn't quite work out, but those are not awful.
He didn't hear you.
I mean, he's got token generation for Bloodlust. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but there is a Cabal Shadow Priest on the other side of the board. That's problem number 1.
And there's a Spirit Lash.
There is also a Spirit Lash, which is problem number 2. And Greater Healing Potion does, on its own, forgetting everything else, put Terrence back up to 20 health. So that's problem number 3.
All right, well, thanks for the gift. I'll take that Harvest Golem, and I'll just 3-0 this. So does Walaoumpa have a card that salvages this? I'm thinking Doppelgangster 1 evolved. Does anything come out? Probably not. I can't think of too much that
Oh boy.
makes this a ton better. Doppelgangster is not enough.
This has been a complete blowout, but not in the way that Walaoumpa would have liked it to be. Terrence gonna take the entire series with a 3-0 win, meaning that he's our first player to qualify at, what, 7-0 in the Swiss?
Yeah.
Incredible.
I mean, Walaoumpa's far from out, even if he loses this one, given that he's at 6-1 in the...
He still just needs to win one more, and he's got several chances. Or 2 chances, anyway.
Can you get Doomsayer from this Blood Cell Corsair and
does it even matter?
Stave off death for 1 turn. Walaoumpa looking for a miracle. Does he have some card we don't know about? Some kind of Deathwing shenanigan? I mean, he's been playing some funky lists.
Curious Glimmer is just going to pick up Bloodlust for Terrence now. It doesn't matter, this game is over. Oh, or Devolve, okay. Never mind.
You know, how many times do you just pick the card you want? And you just accidentally realize, oh wait, Glimmeroo does not let me keep what I want.
I have done that once or twice, or more.
Yeah, no shame. And that is more than a nail in the coffin. Walaoumpa with nothing left but a Primal Fin Totem. He's gonna roll the dice, at least for it to be cute. Maybe we see
Flesh-eating ghoul, okay, there's the conceit. Finally, Terrence takes the win. Nice handshake there from the players. Terrence was looking pretty tired, actually. Considering that was a 3-0, that felt like a very long series for these guys.
Yeah, I think Terrence is just happy now that he can take a breath because now the top 16 is guaranteed for him to go through. And that basically means he can try to do his best in the following series, but doesn't have to worry about that too much.
Yeah, it's he's in a really great spot here. Terrence, the consistent player that we've known about for a very long time, ever since his second place finish last year, just going to keep doing it. And hey, he might get his first place finish this year. We do actually have another game lined up.
And that's going to be Muzzy versus Gouletateur. So Muzzy is one of the players that we've been following a lot.